Okay, I'm going live. Yes, this is Mike at Astro Apostle, and I just thought I'd do something new. This is new for me in terms of live video, and it just kind of dawns on me that everybody's crying about what's going on. Uh, if you don't like it, ask for them to change it. And if they won't change it, then ask the people in control to do something. And if they want, then replace them. Stop crying about it. You're either going to do something or you're not going to do anything. Jeez. Now, I'm thinking, again, on the scientific side, I'm just trying to be scientific. It might sound political, but I'm just being scientific. If we want to maintain control, then why don't we get the billionaires together and have them pay the loan off that we owe China? That way we can quit supplying China's economic uh, machine, because they're getting $1 trillion of money. Well, I don't know how much money they're getting from the United States, but they're getting hundreds of millions of dollars from the United States every month. And if we don't want that burden, then why don't we get those few billionaires, 15, 20 of them, that are not paying taxes? Why don't they show an interest in the United States system and pay that debt off? Let them invest in America, since they're profiting off America, and then take the pressure off the people. That way you don't have to overtax the people. Now, of course, they can get together and make whatever repayment plan, a governmental bond, or how they want to run it for the people that are in, but it would just be a matter of a few $100 million a billionaire. And of course, they have more than a few hundred billion sitting around somewhere. So why don't they invest that in the United States, and let's cut China loose? That way, we don't have to worry about China trying to destroy the United States dollar, unless the plan is to destroy the dollar. Now, that could be it, and that might be the reason why we keep borrowing from them and we don't want to pay the debt off, because we want to destroy the United States dollar, which destroys the United States economy. I'm not really sure, but from a scientific point of view, that makes better sense. From a philosophical point of view, that would make better sense to pay that debt off, or get that debt off our back. So again, rather than crying about what's going on, tell the people who are in charge to do something. And if they want, then, all you have to do is, recall them and replace them, and get people in there who will get something done. Because all this, YouTube crying about what's going on and how come don't nobody do nothing. Each of you contact your representative, local representative, state representative, federal representative, and tell them you want them to take action. If they don't, then start an immediate move to remove them and replace them with people who intend to get something done. Kind of makes the sense of me. Unless the intent is to destroy it off. Now you're trying to have a fire sale. Seems like to me that's kind of what's going on. We want to have a fire sale. That's why no one wants to do anything, because we really want a fire sale. We want to burn it all up. And you already see how bad it's gotten. So I don't know how burning it up is going to make it any better. But that's up to you. Now we're going to get to the astrophotography. There's a whole lot of stuff going on with regard to technology. And I watched a YouTube content provider who did just a short video of him putting a rig setup for 2 telescopes in the back of his vehicle, uh, with a fryer and a coffee machine maker. And I mean, this is a group of, young engineers who figured out how to build a system to put it in the trunk of the car, electronically open the hood of the car, slide the telescope onto a mount, which was electronically attached, and then automatically, electronically auto align the telescope and start imaging. And if that telescope wasn't good enough, on the other side, he had a larger telescope, which he could bring the setup back into the vehicle, unattach it, slide it over, slide the second telescope on, attach it to the mount, and then automatically align it. I'm wondering when automatic electronic polar alignment devices will be coming out. As many of these mounts that you're coming out with, why don't you make a mount that automatically electronically polar aligns like they did in the guy's video? Now, of course, he said that wasn't the most stablest setup in a vehicle. You don't really want to use it in a vehicle, but it only shows what I'm talking about, what's currently available. If he could build an electronic automatic polar alignment device for his 2 telescopes in the back of his car, Lord have mercy, to image all night, then I should be able to buy the same device. I'm not talking about for $8,500 or $10,000. Give me a break, you guys. And you're 3D printing these things. Come on, man. You should be able to sell that for less than $500, $299. Give me a break. It's a single purpose device. Why should I pay $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 for a single purpose device that only polar aligns? Help us old guys that are really trying to get into this, because that would make it so much easier for me to break my setup down into 1, 2, 3 parts, run to a dark site, and then set it up and have it broken down and put in large tool cases, padded tool cases, where I don't have to worry about assembling and cables. I could have everything right there in its pieces. I don't have to keep switching things around, devices and cables and mounts and tripods around. I could have a simple setup. I could move to any location, and in less than 10 or 15 minutes, set it all up, be aligned and ready to image when my object appears. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know about what you guys are thinking about with regard to what we could look for and expect. The other thing is, smart telescopes. I'm gang ho for a smart telescope, though they're beautiful. And they make it your night viewing fun. It's really exciting to the beginner or to the casual viewer. But they still lacking, as Ed Ting says, it's really lacking in functionality, because they're not really giving you a lot for your money. Small apertures, and I mean, minimal AI processing functionality, stacking processing functionality, not the real Photoshop experience that you're really expecting when you put your telescope up and you capture your object, and then you save it as your JPEG. Why can't we get there sooner than we're getting there? Don't do us like Apple with the okay, you're going to give me a better camera, and that's a new version iPhone. Okay, now you're going to change the audio and improve audio. Okay, that's another version of the iPhone. You're going to change the colors of them. Okay, that's a new version of the iPhone. That's kind of like Tron. I forget the software they were selling, and Bruce Boxleiter asks at the board table, what's the difference between this version and the last version? And the president of the board said the number. And so hopefully they won't keep kind of pushing that on us, because I'm really looking for that new experience, but I'd rather spend it on that alignment device, that self polar aligning device, which takes the work out of fooling around for, okay, you can do it in 10 minutes. Yeah, well, that would be 10 minutes I could, be prepared to do something else. I don't have to spend 10. And usually, polar alignment takes a little longer because I'm always interrupted with software updates. No matter how many times I check for firmware update, I'll be darned, I'm in the middle of a polar alignment and the app wants to update. I'm thinking I checked all that. I'm in the middle of an image. You're shutting down my image because you want me to update. So that should be on the table. That should be in the warehouse. They should be, as much as you're pumping out these strain wave mounts, you should be pumping out the base to the mount that self-polar lines. Maybe we buy it all, since everything costs $2,000-$3,000. Maybe that could be the base of the mount, instead of you making me buy it separately. Come out with a mount that's not only strain wave, but self-polar lines. Gee whiz, how difficult could that be? You engineers out there, you brainiacs. So, well, doesn't look like anybody's got on in the chat. Again, I don't want to be a crybaby. I'm not an engineer or a programmer, so don't expect me to come up with it. I don't have any 3D printing equipment, and I'd rather spend it on telescope accessories and such rather than buying all this other stuff. Mike is 75 years old, so it doesn't, even if I live 25 more years, I don't want to spend my time studying physics and geometry. Come on, you guys. That'd be a little tough for me. But hopefully I've said something encouraging. Again, this is fun for me. This is my first live stream. I didn't put it out to all my subscribers. Maybe there's some way for me to contact all of you, not only to tell you, continue to thank you for your support of the channel. For those of you that leave comments, I appreciate your comments, but to let you know when I'm going to do this next one. I've been really focusing on live stacking, not through SharpCap, but on the ASI Air Plus and on the Stella Vita, that both devices and their apps offer live stacking as opposed to planned imaging or just automatic imaging or video imaging. Now, each of them have their pros and their cons, and they still need a lot of work as far as I'm concerned. But the resulting images, the quality, I don't know if it's because of the camera or if it's because of the telescope itself, the optics. Although I do as much focusing as I can and in alignment as I can to make certain that, my background is in focus. I don't try to blow out my images or objects with too much gain. And I've been playing with gain in regard to zero gain to 100 gain to 200 gain, and what difference that makes in the signal to noise ratio. And usually, even when I take zero gain, I don't really see much difference in the background between 0 and 100 gain. I don't know if that's maybe because of the camera that I have, which are ZWO and 2Tech cameras, 2600 Air, the ASI Air 533 MC, the 2Tech ATR 585 MC. If they make a difference with regard to the amount of gain that I use on an image or set on an image. But you test that. If you haven't tested that, that's one of the things you should test. The other thing is, yeah, everybody's talking about filters, and filters are great. I got my first M8 image. Oh man, it blew my mind when I saw the first frame of M8 on display one night using a, I want to say, dual band filter. I think it was dual band filter. So between UVIR, dual band, and HA oxygen 2 filter. I've been playing with it. Now, these are budget filters for me. You guys might be able to get the more expensive one, but I refuse to pay $13,500 for a 2-inch piece of glass. And that's just me. I'm my channels, we're on a budget, so that's just me. But it's fascinating to see the results you get depending on what filter you use. So for you beginners, save your little money. And if you can, get a couple of filters and see what your results. Now make sure that the filters match the objects that you want to image. So check those images out. See if a filter would improve your capture, what type of filter you need to use. That's important. Don't just run out and buy a box of filters, which again, I did, not knowing anything about filters over a year ago. And now that I pull them out, I don't have any monochrome cameras. I got a monochrome guide camera, but I got all these color filters and no monochrome camera. So I have to wait on that. But you should try it. You'll really be surprised the results that you get, because I was excited with the ones that I saw. All right. I believe it's going to be clear tonight. I'm going to certainly run out there and set up as quickly as I'm able and try to run. I got to try to run till 3:34 in the morning, 4:15, because that's funny. Sunset is after 7:15. Sunrise is like 4:45 around here. Man, it gets so bright after about 4:30. It gets bright, so I have to cut out my imaging after about 3:45. But I'm about to get out, so I believe it'll be clear for me. Hope it's clear for you. Enjoy your sessions, and I'll see you next time.